Session. Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. So as said, I'm here to speak about continuing professional education amongst other things. Let me share my screen. Seeing my screen right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we are.
All right, once again, good evening. My name is Domenic Williams, as said, and I'm speaking on continuing professional education amongst other things. So the content of my presentation today will encompass professional education, as said, accounting and other qualifications and its benefits, the career path of accountants, whether it be within the industry or within an audit firm where I currently work. I'll speak about noteworthy accountants, also being a well-rounded professional, and this one should be interesting, balancing work, study, and everyday life after leaving university. Working, the working world is completely different. And then I'll speak on entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship as numerous accountants tend to venture off and do their own business. At the end or even during, if you have a burning question, you can ask any questions. No questions are off limits. The opportunity to ask the question. I'll give you the raw truth straight up. I just left university in 2020, so I'm considered also a fresh graduate, also still adjusting to the work world. So when we speak about professional education is a formal specialized training about a particular profession in which learners are taught the central concepts, principles, and techniques and how these are applied in real practice, and the learners also acquire the necessary competencies needed for proper practice and behavior. So despite being called professional education, it's not just the principles and concepts and techniques. So it's not just actually knowing how to do accounts or knowing about accounting itself, but we also consider proper practice and behavior. When you think about behavior, think about ethics, proper conduct. I want to differentiate between a profession and a job. As you are accounting students, you are privileged to be pursuing a profession and not just a job. So a profession is an activity that requires specialized training, knowledge, qualification, and skills. It implies membership of a professional body, for example, ACCA, CPA, ICAJ, and certificate of practice. So professions, examples of professions, teachers, doctors, lawyers, chartered accountants, meaning I'm sure you wouldn't want a random person operating on you if your leg is broken. You wouldn't want a random person building a bridge for you to cross. You'd need an engineer. I'm sure you wouldn't want a random person to represent you in court. You'd definitely go to prison. And obviously, you want someone to do your taxes, etc. Chartered accountant would be the one person to go with. This is different from an occupation. Occupation refers to the regular activity performed by a person to earn his or her bread and butter. An occupation does not necessarily require specialized schooling in a particular stream. So the working world is becoming increasingly competitive. Well, if you can't agree yet, you will agree when you enter it. So first degrees are so common now. Back in the day, a first degree could take you so far. Now, a first degree can take you so far and no more. You still have one-off cases where persons are becoming entrepreneurs, of course, are the first degrees taking them where they want to be. But more times than not, nowadays, you need something more than the first degree, whether it be the ACCA, the CPA, CPA Canada, CIA, MSc, a master's in business administration, etc. I'll speak on all of them as we go along. So being accounting students, the natural route is to do an accounting certification after the degree. Or if you go and pursue a master's, you do the accounting certification afterwards, after that. So the most common is the ACCA, which I've done, or the CPA. The ACCA is more English-based, the CPA US-based. Some of these things you may know already, being final year students, some may not. So the ACCA has 13 courses, exams are sat locally, and there's a requirement of 3 years experience, accounting experience to actually get the charter. A lot of the times, being university graduates, you won't be doing all 13 exams. You'll get a number of exemptions. I know U students and Utech students tend to get a different amount of exemptions. I got 6, so I had to do 7 exams. The CPA, on the other hand, it's just 4 exams, no exemptions. You have 18 months to complete the exams, meaning from the first exam you take and pass, the next 18 months within the next 18 months, you need to complete the other 3. This is because after 18 months, your paper expires. These exams are set in the US. They cannot be set locally. And you'll need 2 years relevant experience to be considered a CPA after getting the exams. You can do you get the experience while doing the exams. All right. So the ACCA, as I said, the applied knowledge papers, that's the business and technology, financial accounting, management accounting, and also numerous or some of the applied skill exams, the corporate and the business law, the taxation, the financial reporting, etc. You may get exempted from. However, definitely you'll have to do 4 more papers, which is the 2 essential strategic professional papers. That's the SBR and the SBL. I can walk you through. The SBR teaches you a lot about accounting standards, IFRS and IAS, which you definitely would have been exposed to during your degree. And then the SBL, on the other hand, teaches you about business management, being a business leader. And then you have the option from 4 papers to choose 2. So you choose 2 out of advanced financial management, advanced audit and assurance, taxation, or performance management. Advanced audit and assurance is basically a must do, a 100% recommended paper. So really and truly, I would say you have a choice of one of 3, which is between advanced financial management, taxation, and performance management. I would definitely 100% recommend you do advanced audit and assurance. Then the CPA, the 4 papers, auditing, business environment, financial accounting, and you have regulations. So apart from the CPA and the ACCA, there's another route to get the chartered accountant status in Jamaica. So the ACCA and the CPA are recognized worldwide. However, persons just seeking to be a chartered accountant locally, which was mostly back in the day and less now, but you can do the option of doing an MSc accounting at the University of the West Indies, along with 2 years experience, relevant experience in an accounting or accounting firm, audit firm, or accounting practice, or accounting department. You can become a chartered accountant in Jamaica once you have the MSc accounting, the relevant work experience. Other professional designations. So not because you do accounting necessarily means that you want to be an accountant. A lot of you will find yourself not liking accounting. Some of you will love it. Some of you will think you love it and then grow to dislike it, and the other way around. There is the CIA, certified internal auditor. Some persons choose that route, and there's the CFA, which I'm pursuing now. It's more finance related. Some persons find finance more fun than accounting. It just really depends where your passion lies eventually. And if it's not passion, it's just what you're good at or what you'd like to do. So importance and benefits of the ACCA. So being that the ACCA and the CPA, the accounting designations, are globally recognized, you can have a conversation, you can relate to persons from around the world that have the same designation. You might go to the US with your Utech degree or your UE degree, NCU degree, etc. And you just not you just don't stand out. You're competing against persons from Harvard and all kind of other business schools. However, the ACC and the CPA, you are literally leveled, 100% level with anyone else around the world with the same designation. Also, a lot of persons are looking to migrate. Some persons don't want to stay. Some persons will stay. Some persons love the island. Some persons are more patriotic. However, travel opportunities are endless. Audit firms, PwC, Ernst& Young, KPMG, Deloitte from around the world, whether it be the US, Canada, England, Bermuda, the Bahamas, Cayman Islands, are always seeking chartered accountants. I have friends in all of these countries right now who I have friends who leave every year to either the US, Canada, England, etc. Bermuda. They don't come, but they just call it a day, go and live. So this certification, the ACC and the CPA, allows you to do that. Literally, once you get this ACC or CPA behind your name, you update your LinkedIn, you update your profile, persons will be contacting you, offering you job interviews to go abroad. Maintaining your professional designation, the ACCA, CPA, etc. It's not like a degree where you actually just do your degree, you get your certification, you get your school leaving certificate or your degree certificate, etc. And you just call it a day, walk out the door, you're good to go, you have that degree forever. No. With the ACCA and the CPA, you have a subscription fee to pay, a membership fee to pay each year. There's also a continuous learning requirement. So the ACCA, I can speak for the ACCA definitely. They require to have a certain amount of hours of learning per year. So a lot of the times the ICJ, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica, they have seminars which make up to that continuous learning. You can also do courses on the ACCA websites. You can attend lectures at your local university. However, if you work at an auditing firm, for example, at my firm, PricewaterhouseCoopers, or KPMG, EY, or Deloitte, the firm themselves provide continuous learning activities. So you'll have e-learns to do, which are like small tests on a monthly basis, and this will count towards your continuous learning. So basically, once you say that, hey, I work at an auditing firm, ACCA will say, hey, okay, this guy works at an auditing firm. He's definitely doing the continuous learning. He doesn't need proof that he is doing continuous learning. Apart from that, you'll have to prove that you are doing continuous learning. Don't limit yourself, as I said, not because you're doing a BSc accounting means that you have to work in accounting. You can work in finance or any other related business field. It is a broad degree. It's a very good degree, flexible degree. Don't be afraid to apply for any job within the business related field. As I said, I can speak from experience and seeing friends around me and persons around me. Some persons will not enjoy the profession. Some persons will. Some persons may want something a little bit more exciting, like finance. Some persons may want to do mergers and acquisitions, work with shares and bonds and the portfolio management, playing with the playing on the stock market, etc. And then some persons would actually love accounting, love preparing financial statements, love auditing, and they'll work with that. All right, so you have the career path for an accountant. So you can either choose to go directly into an accounting department, or you can actually go to an audit firm, like what I did. I went to PricewaterhouseCoopers. However, if you go into the accounting department, these are the usual steps. You start off as an accounting clerk or a junior accountant, move to accountant, senior accountant, chief accountant. A lot of the times when you reach around to get to the chief accountant, financial controller, or even senior accountant status, you would have to have completed your ACCA or any other accounting professional exams, or have the MSc accounting. Then you get to AVP, VP of finance, and then usually the pinnacle of an accountant's career, if working a 9 to 5, apart from starting your own firm, is the position of chief financial officer. A lot of accountants made the move also to CEO. I would say that the CEO's best friend is her CEO, definitely. And then that is the CEO's best friend is her CFO, definitely, because once you think about business, you have to think about money, you think about finances, you think about making a profit. And then, as I said, links, like any other profession, links get you so far and no more. So as I said, accounting is not just a job, it's a profession, not just an occupation, it's a profession. So links can get you so far and no more. I don't care what kind of link you have. I don't care how tall your link is. Your link cannot get you a financial controller position without you having some pharma brain, some pharma sense, accounting designation, actually no debits and credits, etc. Because once you get that job, that financial controller job, within the first few minutes of the job, everyone will know that you have no clue what you're doing. If you join the audit firm though, this is the path. You start off as a trainee. You usually do a year as a trainee, year as an associate, year as an experienced staff. And then if you get your accounting certification, ACC or CPA, you can then move on to senior. You will not move from experienced staff to senior without the ACC, CPA, etc. After you get to senior, spend about 4 years as senior. If you are deemed fit, you move to assistant manager. These higher positions now, you can stay at these positions indefinitely. There is no natural movement from assistant manager to manager, from manager to senior manager. You really have to show that you're ready, that you're prepared. And then it's director and then a partner that is the top of the audit firm. You're now a part of the audit partnership. Some noteworthy chartered accountants. Honorable Earl Jarrett, CEO of Jamaica National Group. This is to show you that accountants run organizations inside out. Mr. Andre Holang, CFO of Sagicor Group. Sharon Donaldson, CEO of General Accident. You have Patrick Ellis, who is this group CFO of Jamaica Money Market Brokers, JMMB. He left as a director from PwC, went right over in JMMB as the group CFO. So to note, as I said, you can take two routes if you want to be an accountant. You can actually join a firm, an audit firm, and work your way up, or you can join an accounts department and work your way up. It's a strange situation because early out in your career, you might find yourself making more money and climbing within the accounting department of a regular firm, like say for instance, you join Grace Kennedy as a junior accountant. However, when joined in the audit firm, in 8 years, 7 years, 10 years, you might find that you actually pass your peers eventually. So someone that join an accounting department and they're moving their way up from junior accountant to senior accountant, etc., and you're in the audit firm. They're at a corporation or a company learning accounting about that company alone. When you're at an audit firm, you move from auditing one company to the next. So you learn about Grace Kennedy, you learn about Sagicor, you learn about JN, just based on whatever companies your firm is auditing. And you have so much knowledge that when a company is looking for a CFO or a chief accountant, they will say, all right, hey, let's bring this guy from the audit firm over to be in charge of our accounting department. You also have Leighton McKnight. He's my territory leader for PwC Jamaica. You also have Martin Miller. He did the MSc accounting. He's NHT's managing director. And you have Dan himself, Mr. Dan Webby, group CEO of Grace Kennedy. All right, so apart from the professional designation, I have to say being smart and having the professional designation or having the education is just, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but it's just a part of being a professional overall, a well-rounded professional. Your attitude, trust me, your attitude will take you places that your education will not sometimes. Yeah, we already spoke about the professional competence. You have general knowledge, so you don't just know about the raw numbers, the debit and the credit and the accounting and the treatment of items, where you actually know a little about economics, a little bit about how business works. As a matter of fact, some outside the box conversations can actually create very good business relationships. For example, I was on a client, he was a bit grumpy, but I saw the Manchester United picture on his wall. So we're kind of back and forth and we weren't having the best conversation. And I was like, oh, you support Manchester United, etc. Started talking about the previous game, talking about how Manchester United now win a title in how long, etc. And then that kind of bridge the relationship gap, and then the business that we were doing was smooth sailing. So not just knowing about the educational side of things and having general knowledge is very helpful. Being a team player, I know a lot. In university, we do a lot of group work. A lot of persons don't like group work. A lot of persons say, let me do it myself, or they don't want to be a part of a group, or they don't want to work with XYZ. Sometimes you're able to pick your own group. Your lecture allows you to go in your own group, so you work with your friends or who you want to work with. That is not it. When you come into the working world, you don't have a choice. You have to work with the person you're assigned, no choice. And if you cannot work along with the team, trust me, it is not a situation where they're getting rid of the team. It's you they will have to get rid of. So being a team player is very, very important. And then great communication skills. Have to be able to communicate well, communicate well, efficiently and quickly. For instance, if you have a problem, you need to communicate to your peers or your senior as soon as possible. You might try to hide that you have an issue going on at work, or hide that you're getting through or you know what you're doing, but really and truly you don't. What will happen here is that everything will be fine until the deadline comes and you actually don't have something to submit. And then you will say, hey, I didn't know what I was doing, and your boss or your supervisor would say, so you really didn't know what you were doing, and you sat there for weeks and not say anything. My thing is, once I don't know how to do something and I try it myself, I am going to my colleagues, I'm going to my peers, I'm going to my supervisor and saying, hey, I don't know how to do this. Please show me how to do this. So balancing work, studying, and everyday life. So we all have 24 hours in the day, but we have different obligations and different priorities. We also have different levels of mental capacity. All right, so I don't want to put it like that, but literally some of us are smarter than some, or some of us get things quicker than some. But you have to know yourself. So somebody may need to read something once to get it, and you may need to read something 3 times. So what you need to do, read it 3 times. The end result is what matters. It doesn't matter how much work you have to put in versus the other person. You want to get the same end result. So someone and I are doing the same assignment or same project, or we're doing the same exam. That person studies for 1 hour, I study for 7 days. Both of us get 90, we're good to go. Time management is key. So some persons at the university level were balancing a part-time job with school, with lot of partying, sports, social activity, lot of idling, if you lived on hall at any point in your life, a lot of sleepless nights, just easing back, literally. So you would be good, meaning you would be balancing so many things already. You can, you fit into the working environment. Others, some persons weren't balancing anything. All they had to worry about was just school alone. Just coming to school, doing what needs to be done, and they just call it a day. So you have to prepare your mind or prepare yourself to come in for when you come into this working world. You're balancing the work, you're balancing getting the professional designation, you're balancing life. Some of you guys probably have, I don't know, one or two probably have children already. Some will have children soon. It's a lot of things to balance. How it works also, you need to do well at work, but also you need to get the professional designation, or you need to continue studying. So it's a serious balance between both. If you are excellent at work but have no educational backing, you can get so far and no more. And if you have the educational backing, meaning you have the ACCA behind your name, but you just don't have no clue what you're doing, you can get so far and no more. So you have to balance it. Then you have health. Health is wealth. You exercise, you play a sport, you go to the gym. How the field works, you're around the computer a lot. So if you just sit down every day around the computer 12 hours a day, you eat, you sit, you sleep, you will put on the weight. Health is wealth. All right, so let me speak on entrepreneurship versus entrepreneurship and chartered accountants in general. They say chartered accountants make great businessmen. Why? You may not realize, but the debits and credits tell a story. So for every debit and credit that happens, it's actually showing you what's taking place within the business. Like if you pick up a set of journals, nothing is hidden. You know what's taking place. You know what product is being sold. You know when it is sold. You know how much of it is sold, etc. So as I said, a CEO's best friend tends to be her CFO. So entrepreneurship is acting like an entrepreneur within an established company, creating a new business or venture within an organization. So for instance, you have a supermarket and they decide to do a food court or a restaurant within that business. And then you have an entrepreneur now who is a person who sets up a business. Our business is taking on financial risk in the hope of profits. Some of you will not like the 9 to 5, go on and try to be entrepreneurs. Some of you will be comfortable with the 9 to 5, go on in life, work at big companies, and then be an entrepreneur where you will be the one to say, hey, to your CEO or to your managing director, the company can venture off into this. Let us do this within the company. So it's like being an entrepreneur within your company. With entrepreneurship, by understanding the financial makeup of a company, accountants understand which product performs well. So as I said, as an accountant, You shouldn't just know the raw numbers. You need to know actually overall how the business is performing, which products are selling, which products aren't, where are the bulk of the expenses coming from, why the cash flow is weak, etc. You should also be easy. You should also It should also be easy for you to spot business ventures. So you can walk down the road and be like, hey, all right, there's a shortage of XYZ. This could be a business. I'm sure a few of you probably used to sell at high school. I know I used to do it, but yeah. And then entrepreneurship now. So chartered accountants, financial knowledge. The financial knowledge that you have equips you to raise money and self-fund startups. You can handle your payroll preparation, your tax filing. As a small business, you don't want to pay anyone to do your payroll preparation or to file taxes. You can do it yourself. You keep track of your own accounts receivables. That's a big part of business where persons are making credit sales and they have a lot of money on the road, not able to collect money, poor cash flow. So you'd have profits, as my last point would say, you'd have profits but poor cash flow. And that's the end of my presentation. I'll take any questions. No questions are off limits.